Hello, how are you? It's Mary Taylor, your menopause rock star, and this afternoon, because I'm recording in the afternoon, you might be watching in the morning or the evening, I'm with the absolutely fabulous Kate Wilson from Kate Wilson Wellbeing and Kate Wilson Pilates. So we are trying to keep a straight face because we've just been having the behind the scenes conversation as you do when you're catching up. And yeah, we're going to be talking today all things well-being, and in particular a new program that Kate is going to be offering to support women in particular getting ready for operations. Is that correct, Kate?
That is. Nice to see you this afternoon, young lady.
Absolutely. So Kate and I have known each other for maybe about 18 months, 2 years. It might even be longer now, because who knows where time is going as we're in this vacuum of lockdown. I think maybe closer to 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
And we've actually met through a mutual colleague as a result of both them partnering with doTERRA essential oils. We're both Pilates instructors, teachers, coaches. What do you call yourself, by the way? Are you a Pilates teacher? Are you a coach? Are you an instructor?
Normally a teacher, I think.
Yeah. It's a hard one, isn't it? Because I'm sometimes like, what am I? Am I a coach? Am I an instructor, leader? And so we both have a love of movement. And again, as we know, movement is medicine, lotion, motion is lotion. But Kate's got some really great specialist knowledge in areas that I don't have, which is fantastic, because it means that there's a complement. And more importantly, I've got someone I can go to for advice. We've both done Cherry Baker's Diamond Pilates, haven't we?
Yeah.
And Kate's gone on list all the other wonderful Pilates courses that you have done.
How long have we got?
Oh, half an hour.
Oh, good. So spine safe. So looking at people who've got spinal conditions. I've done the older adult, Diamond Pilates, the hog.
Hypermobility?
Hypermobility. No, I've got hypermobility to do, scoliosis, posture assessment, hip and knee.
Yeah. So as you can see, Pilates, it can go on and on and on and diversify and verify, and really go down into specialist niches. I just need to make you aware that the heavens have just opened here again. We're recording this in the week of the torrential thunderstorms.
It's okay in South Leicester at the moment.
Right, North Leicester, it's torrential rain. So I'm really interested in speaking to Kate, because Kate and I have had some amazing conversations, because Kate's also a hypnotherapist. She does a lot of work around body and mind, and also, as I say, a lot of work around supporting people getting ready for operations. And as Kate's already quite rightly said, unfortunately, due to the current situation, we know that there's approximately 10 million or 10,000?
10 million people waiting for operations in the UK now.
10 million people waiting for operations. I mean, oh my goodness. So I think, this is a vital conversation to be having at this point in time, because if you are somebody that's on the waiting list, if you know that your operation may be put back because obviously they're going to have to work in an order of priority, the positive to that is that gives you even longer to get ready and be prepared for your operation. And I myself have worked with a number of clients getting ready for hip operations, and we've really helped them to get into a mental and a physical place where they are, they're able to bounce back so much quicker. And I've done that through using Pilates, movement, my biomechanics education, nutrition, and of course for me, I'm always using my essential oils. But Kate has a very different approach and very similar in some ways as well. So Kate, tell us a little bit about this new program that you are looking to launch, bringing all of your knowledge and experience to date.
So I was looking at what I could do to help people, because that's predominantly what I do on a day-to-day basis, and seeing how many people are waiting for operations, and the fact that people don't get ready for them. They kind of turn up on the day and go, here I am, and just quite often think that the operation is going to solve all their problems, and it will help in a lot of cases, but there's so much more that people can do to get themselves ready beforehand. So if somebody's waiting for a replacement, so a hip replacement, knee replacement, they tend to be the most common ones. There's going to be a lot of inflammation going on in the body. So things that you can do to bring down the inflammation, so looking at your gut health, because you're likely to have been on medication. So the things we can do to bring down the inflammation. The program is not going to stop you from needing your operation, but what it will do is it will get you in a better position going into the operation, and then also it will help you transition out of it and get into better health. So you can do it with exercise, as long as it's under guidance, depending on what your issues are, but looking at your mindset, so reducing stress and anxiety, improving your sleep, looking at your gut health, your nutrition, your mobility, your hydration, all these things together can all help to get your body into a better state and your mind into a better state, so that when you're going for your operation, you're going to have a better result on the other side, both going in and coming out. And bearing in mind that pre-COVID, you were normally looking at probably 16 to 18 weeks wait time for an elective surgery, so a hip replacement, knee replacement. Obviously, if you had a sudden emergency, so it was a fall or something that caused a fractured hip, can't prepare for that. But also if you're going in for hysterectomy or something like that, you'd normally have that time beforehand. So the more that you can do to prepare yourself going in, and this is where my ideas come from. Prehab is, I've discovered in my research, is not a particularly well-known phrase, and I thought it was common, but obviously not. And in the past, all I focused on, so I've had people coming through various classes of mine, and there was a lady going in for a knee replacement, and it kept being put back. And I said, well, if you get yourself stronger around the knee, do some cycling, you'll do better. And then when I saw her after the operation, and they said, oh, you've done really well, why is that? And she was like, oh, my aqua teacher, because she used to come to my aqua class, had said about getting strong and doing this prehab, and they were sort of, really?
Yeah.
A little disconcerting, but
yeah.
It's tricky. When I've been doing my research, I've been looking, and a lot of the stuff just tells you what to do on the day that you're going in for your operation. And it might, if you're lucky, say about doing some exercise beforehand if it's for a joint replacement. So that's what I'm researching to put the program together. I've got a questionnaire which hopefully we might be able to share with your group.
Yeah.
So I've just got a short questionnaire that I'm looking for people to fill in who may be waiting for surgery or treatment, just to check that my thoughts sort of gauge with the people that I've already interviewed, who have either had treatment last year or might be waiting for it, know that they need a hip replacement or something at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so invaluable anyway, because if we think about, you know, I work with pre and postnatal clients as well. So even though I call myself the menopause rock star, you know, I've worked with and still will work with pre and postnatal clients. And it's one of those things, isn't it, where women don't change their diet until they're actually pregnant, when actually we need to be getting the body ready for the nourishing of themselves and the baby as well. You know, I've got a very, very good friend who's gone through chemotherapy, radiotherapy, you know, all kinds of cancer treatments. And again, we've been, you know, she's been using, and we've been working together on her nutrition, and, you know, she's gone to other people for her mindset. So I think it comes into all aspects of her life. And then for me, obviously, as someone who's now specialising and focusing on menopause, again, everything that you're sharing, moving right, eating right, gut health, mindset, you know, getting stronger, all of those things are so important for someone preparing and getting ready for their menopause transition. To
be honest, Mary, it's essential for everyone.
Well, it's basically, I think, almost life skills, isn't it? With a little bit of focus on getting ready. So I'm really interested, when we were talking before, so, you know, obviously, you know, you've spoken about the food. How do you work with somebody around their mindset, their anxiety, you know, because some people might be feeling very anxious about their operation, or, you know, have a fear of hospitals. How would you work with them in that respect?
So it's all a conversation, and as you mentioned at the beginning, I'm a hypnotherapist as well. People are often very wary about hypnotherapy and I was the same before I understood it more. You have that vision of, oh, come up onto the stage and I'll make you act like a chicken or whatever it is. But it's really putting somebody into a trance so their subconscious can kind of come to an agreement with the conscious mind. So if somebody's anxious, anxiety is all future paced. It's all, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? So it's not actually happened. They've just had we were having this conversation before as well. It's the conversation that you're having in your mind and telling yourself that this is how it's going to be. So if somebody's feeling anxious about their operation, it's usually along the lines of, oh, the anaesthetic won't work, I'm going to feel the pain. In the worst case scenario, they'll be thinking, oh, I'm not going to wake up.
Yeah.
It's not going to work for me. I've got to be in hospital. If I go into hospital, I'm going to get MRSA. I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. I won't be able to do this, I won't be able to do it. It's all these escalating issues which are very unlikely to happen. And it's pretty unlikely that all of those things would happen to that degree. So it's about reframing that thought process, and you can use things like breath practice as well, and self-hypnosis. So for example, back in the day when you and I used to have what people would call a proper job, and we might drive to work, and you'd get in the car in the morning and you'd drive to work, and you'd have days and you'd get there and you'd go, how did this happen? I remember getting in the car. You've put yourself in a trance. And that's all that hypnotherapy is. It's a chance for your subconscious mind to get on board with what your conscious mind might want to do.
You know, I know I'm going to steal a Tim Lovejoy, so I understand the subconscious mind, but if someone's listening, they might be thinking, what on earth are you talking about, the subconscious mind getting on board with the conscious mind? Can you explain what that means a little bit more?
Yeah. So what's the best way to do this? If you imagine that all your knowledge every night is in a big filing cabinet, because we can only hold in our conscious mind, so in our knowing mind of what we're doing on a moment by moment basis, we can hold about 5 to 7 bits of information.
Yeah.
Might not always feel that we can hold that many pieces of information, especially if we've not had very much sleep the night before, or not very good sleep the night before.
Or we're menopausal.
Or we're menopausal.
Or both.
Or in COVID. Or the day ends in a Y. So normally we can hold
cabinet,
So we normally, in our conscious bit, we can hold about 5 to 7. We're actually being bombarded with loads of information, like about 40,000 bits of information are coming into us. So in our filing cabinet, so our subconscious is that filing cabinet. So something happens, we go, oh, that's a bit like that. Last time that happened, we did this. Right, this is what we must do. This is where we are. So it might be, you've been to the dentist when you were a little kid and you've been told that you had to have a filling and you didn't know what was going on and you got upset. So you've seen somebody in a white coat. So you're going off to the hospital and it goes, last time, person with a white coat, we felt upset and anxious. That's what we do when we do this.
Yeah.
So our subconscious mind, it's trying to protect us, but it can only go on what it already knows. So it might be that you've got this anxiety about maybe going to hospital, and it might be that you've had a family member who's been in to have something done, and you went and you didn't like, and the smell made you feel nervous, or you saw the white coat, so you didn't really understand what's going on, so you felt that anxious feeling. So your subconscious mind goes, oh, last time this happened, this is what we did. This is what we always do here.
Right.
So we need to be able to break that down and reframe how we feel about it.
Yeah.
Because when you're feeling excited, what do you feel? Where do you feel it? How do you feel it?
Probably, I feel a lot in my stomach.
Okay.
So
when you're excited.
Yeah, like what I'm doing now, you know, I'm getting a little bit, the energy's moving, you know, I'm feeling like, oh, hold me back, you need to almost sort of hold me back kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, so we might often say that we get that sort of that excitement. And then if you're feeling anxious or nervous, where do you feel it?
Again, in my stomach, but this time it'll be really heavy.
Okay.
So, you know, it's like really like, oh, and I feel a bit frozen.
But why does it feel like that? Because there's no difference. There's no physiological, there's no body difference between anxiety and excitement. It's all what your head is telling you it is.
Yeah.
So if you were going to be doing a triathlon.
Yeah.
You will be at some point, no doubt. It will happen.
Yeah.
So you'd be on the start line for that. You're going to feel that little, and it will be that little bit of anxiety, that sort of butterfly type.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same feeling as if you're about to go, oh,
yeah,
I've got to exercise.
Yeah.
So it's just how our brain interprets what we're about to do.
Yeah.
But we do need a certain amount of anxiety, like we need a little bit of stress, because otherwise we'll just be like a slug on the floor in a heap doing nothing.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, isn't it? Like people forget, we need a bit of nervousness, we need a little bit of adrenaline, we need a little bit of that stress cortisol, you know, that hormone cortisol, because that's what actually gets us going and moving. It's when there's too much of it or it's too prolonged. Okay, so that's great. So fundamentally what you're doing is helping people to go into their filing cabinet and almost refile something in a new place. So instead of looking for it under anxiety, you might look under it under excitement or calm or something. Okay. Yeah, great. And have you ever, because obviously, as you know, I'm all about the essential oils, have you ever used any essential oils with anybody when you're doing this, or do you purely work in the way that you know to work?
I have actually done a combination in more recent times. So since I started looking at essential oils, so the main reason I came to essential oils was for pain management and perimenopause symptoms.
Yeah.
So that was the main reasons I started looking at oils. And then as I've learned a bit more about them. I'm not the guru that you are, but as I've learned more about them, so I use them when we were out in the world. I would also use them in my classes, in some of my Pilates classes. And I have, when I've had people in one-to-one before, I would often put an oil in that, so I might use wild orange. So if somebody was contacting me for a hypnotherapy session, we have a chat first. I'll have a chat over the phone. We talk for about 20 minutes to find out what's what. And what it is that they want help with, and then I will sort of have a think and maybe have a look at the oils I've got. So when I was dealing with somebody with trauma, we used Forgive, and we also used Console in some sessions. So I'd have that. I'd check in with them before we began. I'd have it going in the room as they came in, and then I would just check that they were okay with it being on. And just explain a little bit about it, so that if they wanted to follow through and maybe use that to help with their own healing process, that you've got the oils there to use as well. And they did find with the woman that I was dealing with trauma, she found it really useful in it, and it also sort of provided help for when she'd gone home as well.
Which is what we would call like that aromatic anchor. So because you've done that refiling in the same way that when we feel or see something, you know, we're working with the limbic brain. Well, the olfactory system does exactly the same, and all we're inviting, you know, it's about that soothing and helping to reprogram and give a different story almost to that experience. And then with the work that you were doing, you know, certainly for me, if we added in an aromatic anchor, so if you then next time someone smelt, for example, the wild orange, it would remind them to go and look in the filing cabinet over there rather than go and look in the filing cabinet over here. And it's just, you know, for me, that's really empowering. So not just the techniques that you're giving them, but then we've got that extra layer of, you know, sort of well-being and goodness on top of that. So in terms of, so that's the new program that which we were going to have the questionnaire for. And obviously if you're listening to this, you know, post Kate getting the program up and running, and any ideas for names would be more than welcome, because Kate and I were speaking beforehand, and obviously Kate had wanted to do something around calling it rehab, but it's a bit like me when I was doing work around perimenopause and menopause. Most people don't understand what those terms do. I think it's becoming better, but I still talk to a lot of women, and you mention the word menopause or perimenopause and they're like, ugh. One, they don't want to talk about the menopause, and two, perimenopause, they're like, well, what is that? It's not relevant to me. So if anyone's got any ideas for names for a rehab program, rather other than get ready
prehab, remember?
Prehab, sorry. Prehab. Yeah. So it's about prehab, you know, and again, you know, it's about that getting ready, isn't it? It's almost, I'm thinking like, you know, as an Olympic athlete, you know, going through for an operation is a major feat for your body to undertake, isn't it? So it's the same way that you would prepare for a marathon or a triathlon or a go try, or even, you know, for a pregnancy. You have to be ready for it mentally and physically. So yeah, there's something around there. I think there's some little jangly bits coming. So that's a new program that you're going to be implementing and bringing together all of your knowledge. But at the moment as well, we've got Kate Wilson Wellbeing, where you work with people on their stress, their anxiety, weight loss and things like that. So what would I be getting, or what would you be doing with me, helping me, if I came with just the normal Kate Wilson Wellbeing coaching?
Depending what you were coming in with, so with the weight management, I'm trying to, I know that I need to use this word to explain things to people, but I'm trying to shy away from weight loss, because if you lose something, you keep going looking for it.
Yeah.
So if you keep talking about, if we talk about weight loss, when people lose the weight, so if you see people, so this is where sort of yo-yo dieting can come in, people will go on a diet to get to a certain weight, and then will quite often, not all the time, go back to exactly what they were doing before and be surprised that the weight has gone back on again. So if they were coming to see me for weight management coaching, depending on the need, I've done gastric band, hypnotic band on people, so then that obviously takes out the surgery element, but you're hypnotised to believe that you've got the band. But again, we'd be looking at the same sort of principles that I'll go through in the prehab course. So people could either just come and have a short block, so sort of three one-to-one sessions.
Is that how you always work, Kate? Sorry, or is it a minimum of 3 sessions for you?
I have done single ones in the past, but it's often hard to get everything. Otherwise, you're trying to like shoehorn it all into a small space. So for some things, you can do it in a session. It's not a problem. But if you're looking at stress and anxiety, I often feel you need a little bit more time, because you'll get some work to do with it as well. So we look at journaling and gratitude, because it all comes down to a mindset change.
Yeah.
So there's no point, from my perspective, in going, right, I'm going to lose 3 stone in weight, and then when I've lost that 3 stone, I'll go back to doing exactly what I was doing before, because I haven't actually changed my lifestyle at all. I've not understood that it's so much more than calories in, calories out. It's how you're feeding your body, but it's how your body wants and needs to be fed, because my needs and what my body likes and what your body likes may well be at two ends of the spectrum.
And it can also be very much linked around your self-worth, can't it, and your stories, and again anxiety around what will happen if I lose the weight, stay, you know, and like you say, why would you want to lose anything? But when I change that, I'm then a different person. Am I going to lose my identity? Because that's certainly something I've found.
Will people still, if you have another half, will my other half still like me? How
will my friends still like me?
Or will they try and, will it make them feel anxious, or not anxious, but will it make them feel different around me because I've made these changes, and how will that reflect? Because the weight, when we put weight on, it was an issue I had myself 16 years ago, and I actually did Weight Watchers at the time, but without realising, because I didn't understand I didn't really know anything about it at the time. I actually did mindset work on myself then without knowing that was what it was, because I viewed it as a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to be a quick fix. I wasn't going to try and lose all the weight as fast as possible. It took me 18 months and I lost 3 stone. And then I've kept that weight off for the last 16 years now, since I hit my target weight. I'm actually slightly less than my goal weight was. But it's through a lifestyle change and a change in perspective, change of what I eat. And again, I've been going through that again in the last 12 months of so working out what works best for me. So you might, for instance, do better on a high carb, low fat, low protein diet, whereas carbs for me, or gluten for me, I've now discovered is giving me problems. I'm not
celiac.
I'm not celiac by any stretch, but my body will respond different and make me feel bloated, and so I have to keep an eye on that. So I don't operate very well on that, and it gives me that brain fog. So it's all about finding and working with people to manage their blood glucose levels as well. So if I was looking at weight, and also stress management and sleep and hydration and again,
can you do glucose testing? Have I got that right?
I do it on myself.
Yeah.
So you can use a glucometer, so you can monitor. So it's you do it before you eat, 20 minutes before, 20 minutes after, 2 hours after, and you can see how your body responds to food. So I did a little test on myself last week. Most people would think that this would be quite a healthy breakfast. So it was like some shredded raisin wheat things with some blueberries and some raspberries on it, some almond milk and some soy yogurt with a sprinkle of cinnamon. That would look and sound like quite good. My blood sugars.
Yeah.
There is something like some protein, so some salmon and some spinach and some avocado. My levels are there.
And it's really funny you say that, because I definitely am someone who is much better on protein and fat and my green leafy vegetables, and I think probably for the last year I've sort of swapped the carb, and this isn't about being anti-carbs, I still need carbs, but definitely I've become more carb focused, and I think that I can tell that difference. So I'm just making that gradual switch back. Okay, so how do people find you then, Kate? How do we get a hold of you if we're interested in working with you, and particularly like there's people here looking who are one of those 10 million? Oh my gosh.
Oh no, it's scary, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You can find me on Facebook at KW Wellbeing Leicester, or LEICS, or you can find my Pilates on at Kate Wilson Pilates.
Lovely, brilliant. Is there any final message you'd like to leave any of these 10 million with? And I'm not belittling the fact that I know people have had their operations postponed, but if we can do anything between us, and in particular if Kate can support you, that would be amazing.
My final message is, the more you can do to help yourself,
yeah,
know your numbers and be in control, the better it'll be, so that you can live your life with less pain, move more, and get the crack on with life until that date comes through the letterbox to you.
Absolutely. And, you know, as I know, because Kate works with the oils, you know, I know the people I've worked with, we've used the essential oils to complement and then post as well to help with, you know, help with that recovery. So absolutely, you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is really about being empowered, being enlightened, and being educated. And if you are one of those 10 million, then I really recommend that at the very least you answer Kate's questionnaire at the moment, so she can get the program right, and then keep yourself posted. So have you got a mailing list or anything, Kate, people can join, or any way, or are you going to be capturing it through the people that are answering the questionnaire, or?
It's work in progress.
Work in progress.
I'm not the most technologically savvy at the moment.
No. So I would highly recommend, if you are somebody that is feeling a little bit fearful and a little bit concerned about when you're going to have your operation, if you're feeling like your quality of life is maybe being affected, then definitely, you know, speaking to Kate and getting a good understanding of how you can empower yourself. She could work with you over a number of sessions, helping you looking at your dietary requirements, your mindset. We might sprinkle a bit of oils on there for you as well. Then that, I think, in the very first instance, is the minimum that anyone could do to start getting themselves ready. Well, the rain has stopped.
Oh, coming my way then.
Coming your way then. So thank you so much for joining me on Wellbeing Wednesday, and I look forward to sharing a questionnaire and seeing the launch of whatever Kate Wilson Rehab is going to look like and sound like.
You and me both.
All right, darling. Thank you so much.